wealth in real estate, especially here in South Florida, offers unique tax savings, whether you're buying a primary home or an investment property. So, why is real estate so important? Well, here's an interesting statistic. The net worth of somebody who owns a property is 40 times greater than someone who does not own real estate. And guess what? That ratio is only growing. In today's episode, we're going to share the top 10 secrets to slash those real estate taxes, especially here in South Florida. We're also going to talk about what buyers should be doing to get ready to buy in today's market. Welcome to the SoFlo Real Estate Show. Ask Athena and Julie anything. On today's episode, we're going to discuss, are you ready to uncover the ultimate 10 secrets for slashing those real estate taxes? My name is Athena Chilicas Barrocas. I'm a top producer and award-winning realtor with Coldwell Banker here in sunny South Florida. My co-host, Julie Dinda of Radius Financial Group, is here with us today. Remember, subscribe to the show to get notifications of new episodes of the SoFlo Real Estate Show. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Great to see you.
Here, I'm so excited about today's topic. I mean, who wants to pay the least amount of real estate taxes? Let's go. I want to dive into this.
I agree. Nobody wants to pay taxes, so let's figure out how we can pay less taxes. But before we get into this great topic, Julie, let's talk a little bit about what the market's doing today, the rates, what the Fed has been doing, and whether or not you feel, with all your years in real estate and the lending industry, do you foresee a rate drop this summer?
Actually we saw a little bit of a slight pendulum movement. According to CNBC and Jeff Cox, although the US added more jobs than expected, I think it was almost 30,000, like 272,000, the unemployment rate still rose a bit. Both the added jobs and the rise of unemployment to reduce the Fed's desire to lower those interest rates. Looking forward, we'll see the interest rate where it's pretty much where it is, or anywhere between 6.5, 7%, depending on your, so many factors, your credit score, your, debt to income ratio. We've dove into that before.
Keeping inflation down has been the focus of the Fed to ensure the health of our economy. Rates have been, like you said, remaining fairly steady, somewhere between that 6 and 7%. And I'm seeing, or I'm feeling, I'm reading, I'm inquiring. I don't think that the rate is going to drop this summer. I think we can expect the rate to remain between that 6 and 7% this summer, maybe even going into the early fall. So I think also that interest rates are important to buyers. I mean, we always get that question, right? What is the interest rate? What are the home prices? But it's only one aspect to consider when buying a home. The other aspect is we have to look at what is the inventory. How many homes are out there for buyers to consider buying? A smaller inventory means that prices are going up, less choices, right? But we have good news. Active inventory for May of this year versus May of last year is up, Julie. It is up 36%. That means there's more homes for buyers to choose from. And it's time for those buyers who are waiting to see, maybe there's other homes out there to get in the market today. There is no luxury to wait in this market. Time to get back in the market. Your thoughts, Julie?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm telling my clients who I work with on the lending side not to wait. They're more there's actually more home prices. Your interest rates are not moving right now. And the equity is just building and building and building and building, especially South Florida where we're at.
Especially in South Florida. Absolutely. So yes, if you're a buyer out there and you're waiting for the interest rates to drop, not a good strategy. Home prices to drop, appreciation is only taking place. Lastly, what we're seeing is more inventory in the market. So yes, it is a good time to meet with your realtor and talk about a strategy. But before we get to all of that, let's talk about our last podcast for a hot minute, Julie. We talked about the three biggest mistakes buyers can make in today's market. Aside from waiting, which is, the paramount mistake, what are those three mistakes that buyers should avoid making in today's market?
So I'll just restate them again. So first would be postponing that pre-approval. Second is finding the absolute perfect home in the perfect neighborhood, perfect environment. Third is overspending on that perfect home. And I would just like to throw in my bonus again, hiring the wrong realtor. That would be my number 4 hidden gem.
It's true. And I love number 4. I do love number 4 because you have to have the right team, whether it's your realtor or your lender. You have to have the right team around you. And this is the thing. And I have seen it so many times, unfortunately, that, buyers sometimes believe that, something else is going to happen in the market. And they tell themselves this. They rationalize it with themselves. They do self-talk that something's going to happen different than what all of the indicators are indicating. And unfortunately, at the end of a period of time, what happens? They can't afford the home. And they may never be able to afford a home that they really, really wanted to buy. And so that's why I love working with you, Julie, because you get it.
Really, you can't be too mad at the consumer because they do a lot of things to try and trick them. It's like, oh, you go on Zillow and you see this price and you see this perfect home, and they don't understand. They're just trying to poach buyers by bait and switching them. So that's why having someone that has a perfect knows exactly what's going on at the exact moment in the market is huge. And I see it too. Look, as a buyer, when you buy real estate, anything that you can afford. If you decide, you know what, I want me and my family to start investing, buy a duplex, live in one side, rent the other side out while you're fixing that one side up. Once it's completely fixed, then you move into the side that's not fixed. Let them move into the perfectly, fixed side. You fix that room. And then now you can rent that one and jump into a new one. There's new construction, in an area that maybe you can't afford, and just rent that out. Buying a home elevates your wealth. So like Nike says, just do it.
Just do it. I love it. I love that. And it's true. We have so many options down here in South Florida for someone to get into the market. If you don't want to buy a primary because it's not working for you, buy an investment property. As Julie said, a duplex is a great way to get into the market. So let's turn our focus, Julie, to the topic today. Those 10 secrets to slash real estate taxes. So if you own real estate, this is a great time to go ahead and like and subscribe to this show. Julie, this is what I think would be kind of fun for us to do today. Is kind of be more interactive. I will give the topic, you give what your thoughts are on it, and then maybe I'll even throw in an example or two just to kind of spice it up. So what do you think? Does that sound good?
I'm excited. Let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay. All right. Number 1, depreciation deductions. Let's talk about that.
Depreciation allows you to deduct the cost of the property over a set number of years. So residential rental properties are typically depreciated over, I would say, about 27 years, while commercial properties are depreciated almost 40 years. So this non-cash deduction can significantly reduce that taxable income that you have to pay at the end of the year.
Great. Thank you, Julie. Here's number 2, a 1031 exchange. Remember, this is one of my 2 favorites on this list of 10. So 1031 exchange.
Coming after this one, ladies and gentlemen, I promise. 1031 exchange, that allows you to defer paying capital gains taxes on an investment property when it's sold, as long as another similar property is actually purchased with a profit that you gained from that sale. So this can be particularly beneficial in Florida's active real estate market.
Yeah, it is. Look, I had a client who sold a property out of state. right? Sold a property in Colorado. Nice, significant amount of money she was able to take. She had over $1 million. And she's like, Athena, look, I'm selling my property in Colorado. It's going to sell for $1 million. I need to reinvest $1 million. Well, her rental value that she was getting in was about $4,200 a month, right? So you go, that's not bad. Well, listen to this. She did a 1031 exchange, Julie, sold the property in Colorado, bought 2 other properties here in South Florida to add to about $1 million. She added a few extra dollars to it, but her rental value for the first property, $4,600. Rental value for property number 2, $1,800. She was now coming in with $6,200 in gross revenue, right, per month versus the 42. She was up $2,000 for the same amount of money that she used in order to purchase the investment property. There's so many different strategies, and the capital gain she paid, zero.
Yeah, that's the best part is you don't have to pay on those taxes.
You're right. You just kick
Unbelievable.
that can of taxes right down the road all day long. But the ability to gain wealth, to gain, money to do what you need to do, whether it's retirement income, paying for colleges, doing whatever it needs to be done, just enjoying life. But that is the beauty of a 1031 exchange. Again, one of my personal favorites. Julie, number 3. Ready?
Yeah, mortgage interest deductions.
Mortgage interest deduction. Tell us about it.
Will be interest paid on loans that are used to acquire or improve the real estate, and that is actually generally deductible. So for primary residences, the mortgage interest deduction can be taken up on loans that are up to $750,000, while interest on loans for investment properties is fully deductible.
That's right. Fully deductible. My goodness. This is an excellent tax break for investors, fully deductible. So, Julie, this is one of our favorite products, the DSCR loan, right? That means for investors, you can pull out cash and use it for, buying another property, for improvements, etc. We have a podcast on that one too. But this is where it comes into play, is that you buy a house with cash. And then you're like, ooh, you know what? That $4,200 a month, it's starting to become a little expensive on the tax side. All right, take out a loan on that. Take out 100% of the mortgage interest deduction. And then buy something else and then build your portfolio. It's a great way not only to slash taxes, but to build wealth. Thank you, Julie. I love that one. Next up, property tax deduction.
Taxes that are paid on your real estate can actually be deducted from your taxable income. So this applies to both your primary residence and your investment properties. So Florida's property tax rates vary by county. So understanding those local tax rates can actually maximize that deduction.
Great. Next one up is unique to Florida. It may have be in other states, but I'm unaware. So I'm not an expert in all these states. But the homestead exemption for Florida. Let's speak to that.
Yeah, that's actually huge. Love our property appraisers for sure. Florida offers a homestead exemption that can significantly reduce property taxes on your primary residence. So homeowners can exempt up to $50,000 of their home's assessed value from the taxation, with additional benefits for seniors, veterans, maybe if you're blind or disabled, they also give you additional deductions with your homestead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The homestead exemption is incredible. Everybody should go on to their own county assessor's website and look to see if perhaps you may qualify for an additional exemption. I'm working with a VA vet, right? And she's disabled. The benefit to her is that she can buy a nice home in the area she likes, and she pays zero property taxes because she is a disabled vet. She did not realize that this was going to take place until I told her. And she's like, what? I could buy more of a house now, or I could feel more comfortable with the payments for the house that I wanted to purchase. So absolutely fabulous. Those homestead exemptions in Florida are very unique and they're very powerful.
We can
Julie,
make
number
a
6.
loan on that one because that's so true. I mean, it's so beneficial for you.
So beneficial. I agree. Number 6, home office deduction.
You use a portion of your home exclusively for business, you may actually be able to deduct those expenses related to that space. Obviously, if you rent in your house, you can't write off your whole mortgage, but you can write off a certain percentage of it. So this can include a portion of your utilities, a portion of your mortgage interest, depreciation, and other home related expenses. So this is especially beneficial for Florida's large population of those remote workers and the small business owners.
You're right, the remote workers. We've had so many remote workers come in since COVID, and this could be an excellent way to slash that tax. So thank you for sharing that. Cost segregation. It's an odd one, but let's go ahead and mention it anyway.
The cost of segregation is actually a tax strategy that allows real estate investors to accelerate that depreciation on certain components of their property, such as, let's say, fixtures or landscaping or certain improvements. By doing so, they actually increase their deductions, reducing that taxable income in the early years of ownership.
Great strategy, because maybe you don't want to own a property as an investor. I bought this property, I only want to hold it for 10 years, but let me go ahead and accelerate that deduction and see, how I can reduce my taxes. So an excellent strategy. I love that one. Homestead portability, again, somewhat unique to Florida in the way that Florida handles portability. Let's talk about that.
It allows the transfer of your homesteaded, we talked about that earlier, exemption benefits to a new home within the states, which can save you property taxes if you move within the state of Florida. And you could go into it on the story if you have one, but I mean, it's huge.
It is huge. And it really does impact the quality of life for Floridians. Perhaps you're now find yourself in fixed income, right? And you're like, this area might be a little expensive to stay on my fixed income. I want to go somewhere that's more affordable. Maybe you have grandchildren in a different part of Florida, you've retired and now you want to move up there. But you've lived in your home for such a long time that your tax base is low. So unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that this benefit is so huge. Let me give you an example, Julie. This is a smaller example, but we can certainly extrapolate into a much larger example. So I had a client and they sold their townhome after owning it for a few years. I think they owned it for 5 or 7 years. And they bought a single family home in a different part of Florida. So what they did is they, moved in. Tax base is now closer to about 8,000 for them. But they were able to take $3,000 of their previous tax base with them. So instead of paying a tax base on 8, they paid it on 5, and then they took their regular exemptions off of that. We're talking a huge savings in taxes, in property taxes. So the homestead exemption, it is a very powerful tool, especially here in South Florida. So if you're thinking of selling and buying, make sure you talk to your CPA, your realtor, or your lender about the homestead portability. It is so important.
I would also add on that speaking to your property appraiser is so easy. They're so amazing. They're so wonderful. They have a wonderful office, wonderful staff, and you can just call them and say, "What can I do? Like, I'm living in my house for 25 years. I want to move to the West Coast. What kind of portability do I have?" Because everybody's different. You know what I mean? Maybe and also when you homestead your property, your taxes can't go up a certain percentage. You're going into a property where they're paying 9,000, you might actually pay 2 to 3,000, which is so crazy. So it's good to create a good relationship with your property appraiser. I bet nobody ever told you
Absolutely.
to do that, but it's important.
No. But it's true, and they want to help you save money. So it
Exactly.
is a great partner to have when you're buying and selling real estate. Okay, our last one, Julie, number 10, energy efficient tax credits. Tell us a little bit about those.
Owning a Tesla, I love this part. Installing energy efficient systems in your properties can actually qualify you for federal tax credits. So these might include solar panels, energy efficient windows, different systems that you can use. Both residential and commercial properties can benefit from those credits. Florida's abundant sunshine, which is very sometimes overbearing, makes solar investments particularly attractive.
Yeah, it does. It does. So we're very lucky. And Julie, I love running through these 10 ultimate secrets and slashing real estate taxes. I think this was a lot of fun. So, the bottom line is real estate ownership builds wealth. We just said at the very beginning, a homeowner, an investment owner, somebody owning real property has the ability to earn 43 times that amount in net wealth. That is huge. So by adding some of these strategies and utilizing some tax saving opportunities, real estate owners can actually increase their walkaway dollars and so minimize their tax burdens. I always love talking about these type of subjects. But remember, Julie and I will also add this. This is our disclaimer. Always consult with your tax professional, your county assessor's office, those legal and professional entities that are here to help you make the best decision about saving taxes or tax saving strategies. Julie, do you have any last minute thoughts?
Like we said earlier on in the show, don't wait, do it. You don't really, until you dive into what it is that you actually have, you don't know where you can be, and all it is a conversation, which is always free. We can dive in and see what we can do to move it along and get you to where you want to be.
Thank you, Julie. I always love having you here. So remember, if you are looking to buy a home, looking to invest through your real estate, want to grow your portfolio, and you're not quite sure, talk to a real estate professional or a lender. If you have questions for Julie and I, we would love to be your first point of contact in that conversation. Julie, thanks again for being here. Always a delight, and we'll see you next time.